Your social security number is not like a password. You cannot reset it, you cannot cancel it. It is the skeleton key to your financial life. And once criminals have it, the risk doesn't expire in just a few years, but rather it follows you forever. Wynn Resorts took your social security number and they didn't even bother trying to encrypt it. Wynn Resorts operates luxury casino resorts. To use their services, you had to give them your name, your social security number, and your date of birth. There was no choice in the matter. They collected the data of more than 800,000 people. Then a hacking group called Shiny Hunters broke in and took all of it. These social security numbers weren't encrypted and they weren't protected. They were just sitting there like Big Yoshi. A federal class action lawsuit was filed the very next day, and this legal complaint says that it was a predictable outcome of the choices that Wynn made on purpose. Not only was there no encryption on the stored data, but there's also no multi-factor authentication. There was no staff training on security protocols. There were no continuous monitoring. The FBI, the FTC, and Microsoft have all published public guidelines on exactly these measures. They are the literal baseline for any company holding this kind of data. The lawsuit specifically notes that major breaches at T-Mobile and 23andMe were public knowledge before this one happened. When it looked at those incidents and decided that there was somebody else's problem. It's because encryption costs money. Multi-factor authentication costs money. Pen testing and monitoring costs money. A lawsuit alleges that Wynn made a deliberate decision to skip those costs and pocket the difference. Customers provided the data, Wynn captured the value, and then criminals captured the data. Then Wynn sent the letter, and the lawsuit's description of that letter is kind of brutal. The letter didn't name the hackers, it didn't explain how the breach happened, it didn't describe what vulnerabilities were exploited. It didn't even confirm whether the threat had been contained. Victims received a notification that told them that something had happened and essentially nothing else. This breach notification letter came with an offer of 24 months of identity monitoring. The lawsuit points out that stolen social security numbers can sit on the dark web for a whole year or more before criminals ever use them. This fraud can surface on rejected tax returns, or it can be a loan application denied, or a call from law enforcement about a crime committed in your name. All of that can happen years after Wynn's free monitoring subscription expires. And when it does, you have to pay for it yourself. There's a plaintiff in this lawsuit named Joseph. He received his notification letter in November 2025. His name and social security number had been accessed by unauthorized parties. The risk he is now carrying will outlast Wynn's free monitoring subscription by a decade. That risk didn't exist before Wynn decided to skip the encryption of social security numbers. And 800,000 other people are in this exact same position. A lifetime of exposure handed to them by a luxury brand that charged premium prices and cut corners on the one thing that mattered most. Wynn will ultimately pay lawyers, negotiate a settlement, and then move on. The people whose social security numbers are now circulating on the dark web do not get to move on. And that's not a coincidence. That's simply the math that corporations have been doing for years.